Hello, dear friends. It's Carly Wharton, and welcome back to Owning Authenticity. As we journey forward in our quest to understand human design, we have come to the body graph. My personal favorite. I think it's an absolute work of art. I'm so excited to share it with you, the ins and outs of our cosmic signature and how the human design system brings all of these pieces together to calculate our unique energy and how it can literally break down our unique circuitry and how we're flowing our energy in our own unique way. I find it completely fascinating if you can't hear the adoration that is dripping from my voice right now. So, the cosmic signature, basically, the body graph is a picture of us getting to understand our unique cosmic signature. So there are two body graphs. There's our full body graph that's going to really give us all the details and the depth of exactly how all of these pieces come together. But when you pull your chart, especially if you did it the way I showed you in the very first video, you got a simplified body graph. Like, your chart isn't going to look like the full body graph that I'm about to show you. So this is really just FYI to see how it works, because seeing all of these different pieces come together so elegantly, like I said, it's a true work of art. And if you've seen a natal chart, if you've studied your astrology natal chart, your birth chart, then you know that the astrological signs form a wheel that is fixed. It is the same wheel for all of us. We were all born under the same sky that has the same 12 zodiacs in it. And the only thing that moves is are the planets. And so as those planets move, their positioning changes and their relationship with each other changes. The energetic influence between all of these different players changes. And that imprint of energy at the time of our birth, that is creating our cosmic signature. So the planets moving is the main thing that changes between each of us as individuals. Our entry point in time is completely unique in terms of a cosmic signature. I think I saw one time, it's like hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years, that it would take for all of the planets to do their full rotations and come back to the exact alignment that they were when you were born. You are rare. You are a miracle. You are magical. You are a moment in time in living form. And this cosmic signature is captured on the full body graph. So we're taking that same concept from the natal chart wheel of astrological signs and planets and planting it firmly in the middle of this full human design body graph. And then around the outside, and there in the center, we add these additional pieces, which are around the very outside are the I Ching symbols. And then inside each I Ching symbol is the hexagram that is associated with that symbol. So that is a defined system all by itself. But it's used here to wrap around the outside of the astrological wheel so that, for example, the hexagram gates text is pointed towards gate 22, and that is associated with this I Ching symbol, and that gate 22 is always found in Pisces. So that gate 22 belongs to that particular location in Pisces. So every time a planet lands inside that space of gate 22, it activates the 22nd hexagram of the I Ching system. And those activated hexagrams are called gates in the human design system. And we're going to get into that here in just a little bit more detail on the next slide when we look at the simplified body graph, because really what all ends up coming together is letting us know which of our energy centers or our chakras are open and which of them are defined. And so there's a whole video on open and defined energy. We're going to get into that in a lot of detail. But again, for today, we're going to focus on kind of the mechanics of the body graph itself. And I guess before I get into this, I am going to go back here real quick and look at the planets again in this whole system are the only thing that are moving. And if you look on like this row of planets here that's located in Virgo, we see that some of the symbols are black and some of the symbols are red. And so that is our segue into the simplified body graph, where it really magnifies the red and black. It's obvious right off the bat that there's a black column and a red column. There's red lines and black lines. That is corresponding to the red and black planets that we just saw on the full body graph. And the difference between red and black is the difference in the planetary placements we just saw. The black planets are calculated locations on the date of your birth, and the red planets are a calculated location 88 days prior to your birth. And 88 days also translates to 88 degrees. So it's where the sun was 88 degrees before where it was when you were born. So the sun is driving this entire calculation of 88 days. And I still, in all my studies, haven't come across an explanation of why the magical number of 88 was chosen. But that's what it is. And so those are the two location points that it gives us on our human design chart. It brings those two different points in time together to construct our conscious personality self. So that's our conscious awareness of who we think we are. So especially they say like if you're 40 or older, that your unconscious self has become more conscious. So it's a greater likelihood that you'll resonate with and identify with both sets of lines on your body graph, the unconscious ones and the conscious ones. But if you're younger than that, and if especially I think depending on your age, like doesn't really matter how much self-awareness work, how much, self-knowledge do you have? And that can happen at any age. So there can be really young people who have gone through the effort to get to know their true selves. And it's entirely possible that your unconscious self is already being made conscious to you just because you're spending that time getting to know the real you. So it's a process of learning that red side of this is kind of who you wanted to grow into. I also saw that it was like it's what we've inherited from our ancestors. It's those gifts, that latent potential that exists inside of us that we're here to eventually express. Another way to think about it, and this is very specifically as you look at the body graph itself, the red lines and the black lines. The black lines are like roads. Like all of these lines are energy moving throughout your particular system. This is a picture of that circuitry that exists the same for all of us. And the lines that are colored in are the pieces of the circuitry that you yourself are using. So when you look at the black lines, that is like a road existing on top of the ground, where when energy moves along that channel, it's a road. You can see it happening on the surface. Nobody has to go any deeper than that to see that energy moving. And then the red lines are like tunnels. So when energy moves through that channel, it's moving under the ground, where really, and this is kind of counterintuitive, no metaphor is perfect, but like other people have a better chance of seeing your red lines than you do because these are your unconscious self, just meaning that it's not conscious. So you do this stuff without realizing you're doing it. So other people might be better able or better positioned to be able to see this side of your personality or your behavior. Again, none of it's bad. None of it's right or wrong. It's just, this is how the combination comes together. And if we look, basically everybody, I'm going to say, never say never, but basically everybody has a line somewhere on their body graph that looks like this coming off of gate 54 here, where it's striped red and black. And you can think about that like a tunnel that's moving under the ground and a road that is running right on top of it. So when you're flowing energy out of gate 54, you are doing so both on a road that can be witnessed on the personality side, and you are also doing it at the same time through a tunnel under the ground that is like reinforcing and re-empowering and just supporting additional support and strength into the energy expression that you're doing through that gate. So those red and black striped lines are really fun to look into because those are the energies that you're really putting out like with a bang. So definitely something to look at there. That is the end of that. A very quick look into the mechanics of the body graph. I hope you enjoyed it. If your curiosity is piqued, definitely keep watching. Lots more human design videos at your disposal for you to devour however it feels good to do so in your experience. So as always, dear friends, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, you take good care.